In a scholarly journal article done by Kevin Brown, he states that in the U.S., about 20 to 25 violent acts occur in children's television per hour, and the average of 3 to 5 acts during primetime TV. With growing up with a younger sibling, I've noticed that there is an increase in media violence when it comes to television and video games. And with the video games, they're playing 007, playing Grand Theft Auto, and it's showing that a lot of it has to do with killings. I've seen so much violence in these that I've decided to do research to see how these acts of violence can affect children in the long run. I'm sure all of you have siblings, have kids of your own, or have nieces and nephews at a young age. And of all of these kids, do they watch television? Do they play video games? Do they have access to the internet? I'm fairly certain that all of you all can say yes to at least one of these. And honestly, how harmful can they be to children? Well, in the book Media and Youth by Stephen Kirsch, he states that 70% of violent acts that are done in cartoons are by heroes, and they go unpunished. And with that 70%, 32% are actually rewarded. So this can seem a little bit more harmful now, right? Today I'm going to go through and talk to you about the different types of media and as well as how they affect children. There are different forms of media that children are watching on a day-to-day basis. In a scholarly journal article done by Elizabeth Irwin and her associates, she states that before young children are entering kindergarten, they are watching about 4,000 hours of social media on television. And by the time they graduate from elementary school, they are seeing about 8,000 murders as well as 100,000 violent acts on just TV alone. Now let's think about this. Once they hit middle school and high school, how much do you think this is going to increase? Because they're going to have more freedoms now that they're older. As much as TV is affecting children in a negative way, there are also different medias as well. According to an event done by Chavez and Anderson, about 90% of U.S. children around 8 to 18 have played and have access to video games, with the boys getting about an average of 19 hours per week. This is a huge percentage. Children are playing video games and have access to it at such a young age. With such great access to TV and videos, they must have an influence on children's lives. Now that you've seen the easy access that children have to media, we'll look at how they actually influence kids in their day-to-day lives. In a study done on childhood exposure to violence content, Huseman found there is a correlation between aggression and the media that violent media children are watching from ages 6 to 9 and even kids in their 20s. This does not only show that media violence affects kids with aggression, but also affects their aggressive emotions. In a scholarly journal article done on the influence of violence and media on youth, Craig Anderson states that short-term exposure can increase the likelihood of physical and verbal aggression on behavior, thoughts, and emotions as well. This goes to show that low exposure can affect children in a destructive way. Now that you all have seen that there is media violence and that there are effects that happen to children from watching, I'm positive that you can walk out of here knowing what to look for. I hope with the knowledge that you have gained from today, you will know that there is a need to help stop the negative violence children are seeing on a day-to-day basis. Well, now we know that media surrounds us on such a day-to-day basis that we need to try and give kids a positive influence and a positive outlook on life.